Hi fellow founders, how you going, and welcome to another video as I track the journey of building my startup Oqire. If you've watched the first two videos in this series, you'll know that I've incorporated my company as a Delaware C Corp in the United States, but am an Australian resident. As a result of that, the last kind of week to 2 weeks, I've really spent trying to get my head around the tax compliance requirements of running a Delaware C Corp. Because if you go to this website here, cruiseconsulting.com, and look at some of the tax deadlines, you can see that it's quite onerous. There is a lot of information to take into account. And the tax requirements on Delaware C corporations are significantly greater than what you would see here in my home country in Australia. In Australia, our tax law is, to put it bluntly, a lot more simpler and easy to understand. So you can imagine that someone like myself from Australia or another country, you start to understand or look at websites like this, and you just see a plethora of different dates, of different forms, of different deadlines, and also different penalties that would apply if you failed to fill out certain documents on time. So one of the scariest for me that I came across was obviously the annual tax return. The 1120, that's straightforward enough as well, but then there's a separate form if your company is owned by a foreign founder or has, I believe, more than 10% foreign ownership. If you don't fill out that additional form, you then face a $25,000 penalty. So with all of this, I was looking for really good resources, and part of this video is just to pass those on. So this is one of them. I'll certainly link to this article down below. But even this, you can see it's quite complicated, right? Like what forms do I have to fill out? What forms don't I have to fill out? And that's where I came across this great video from Gust and a company called Clear Tax and Bookkeeping. It's around an hour and 15 minute webinar series, but throughout this, Crystal here goes through each of the requirements or key deadlines that you kind of need to meet as a Delaware C Corporation. There's benefits of setting up, which we've probably covered before, the income tax rates, when they're due, etc., etc. I'm just trying to find the particular part here where it also talks about that penalty, if I can find it. Talks about research and expenditure, etc. Anyway, I can't find it right here, but look, it's well worth watching, so I'll link down to that below. But even once you start to understand all of these deadlines, all of these forms that you need to fill out, how do you ensure that you're actually doing it in a compliant way? And I was really struggling with this for a while. You can, of course, go to Clear Tax themselves, and actually this is one of the services that I did look at. It's quite affordable from a pricing perspective. They've got different tax packages, so if you just need them to submit your tax returns and that kind of thing, but you also can then combine that with monthly bookkeeping as well, which I imagine just kind of helps streamline the whole process through their offering. I didn't choose to go with Clear despite the fact that this presentation was exceptional. I actually ended up going with Doula, which I've spoken about before in one of my other videos. So Doula does help you incorporate, but I didn't do that. I'd already incorporated before. What I was looking at is the Doula Total Compliance Package. So what's covered in here? Company formation if you don't have a company, but more importantly, federal tax filing, registered agent and state tax filings, and their bookkeeping essentials package, which I believe covers up to 240 transactions per annum. So not a huge amount, but great for people who are getting started, as well as some initial consultations with their bookkeeper and CPA who I met with earlier in this week. And that's only $2,200 a year at the moment, so it's quite an affordable price in my mind. Obviously not exactly what I wanted to have to commit to each year, but for that peace of mind and knowing that they're going to be monitoring everything that I need to respond to or need to lodge as a Delaware C Corporation, it was definitely worth it in my opinion. So it's just a brief video. Tax compliance in the US is not easy, but I just want to share some of the resources that I managed to find to help you put yourself on the path to success with your company if you are looking to incorporate in the US. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.